What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Purple Shade Podcast. Wow. All I can say is wow. Week 7 in the books. Brody, how we feeling this week?
Really? How
we feeling this week?
I mean, it's Tuesday. I mean, how would you feel on a Tuesday? On Tuesday. No football.
It's not Monday. It's not Monday. It's not Monday.
It's
Tuesday.
So it's
which I always
better.
feel like, Tuesday's that day. Do we really need Tuesday? I feel like we can just skip to Wednesday, right? Like, do we really need Tuesday? But it's Tuesday, right? But Week 7, NFL Week 7. What's your thoughts from what we saw?
Oh man, it's just a whole bunch of, I'd say hocus pocus, man. It's the season. I don't know. There's a whole bunch of things that were just weird out there. You know what I mean? Not so much that, the Browns blew out the Dolphins. Poor Dolphins. I guess the Dolphins can't beat the Browns either.
They can beat the Jets.
They can beat the Jets.
But the Jets can't beat nobody.
Oh man, I feel bad for the Jets. I'm not even gonna hold you. Somebody give this team a bye week. Somebody, please give them.
I do too.
Oh, like the only team literally right now. 0-7.
Only team in the NFL without a win.
Yikes. And you know what? I feel bad for Baltimore, but I feel bad for the Jets right now. I do. 0-7. I mean, I got to put my hands up for that one. I did not see that coming.
I didn't either. I thought they would have a win by now.
Exactly.
I picked them for a few weeks. I even picked them to get a win this week, and they still let me down. I think you picked them too.
I did because, they were due for a win. 0-6 against the Panthers. Right. I mean, now they gave the Panthers a winning record. How about them apples?
Well. The Panthers are playing well, but, Brody, I will say, your picks last week, bro.
No, I know they fell. Look. Ain't no mulligan going to save me from that.
We'll get to that in a second. We'll get to your picks in a second. But
I picked the Colts.
Week 7.
Okay.
You did pick Indianapolis. But like I said, week 7 in the books. Man, it was a wild week. It was a wild week, filled with some comebacks, some blowouts. And man, just some clutch performances from teams we expected to win, right? So let's run it down. Let's do that. Let's run down some scores from week 7. Man, let's start from the game we're going to get to. We're going to break down the Vikings game against the Eagles, but the Philadelphia Eagles defeat the Minnesota Vikings 28-22. Man, they let Jalen Hurts throw for 326 yards and 3 touchdowns. His best throwing performance during in his career. But he got wild on the Vikings, man. That secondary. Man.
I ain't gonna lie, I'm getting cooked.
That secondary. Woo. Good Lord. The Denver Broncos, but it wasn't as bad as the Denver Broncos beating the New York Giants. Bo Nix and the Broncos with a historic fourth quarter comeback. They scored 33 in the fourth quarter as they defeat the New York Giants 33-32 on a last-second field goal.
Something's in the water, man.
Brody, the Giants were up 19-0 in the fourth quarter. And they lost 33-32. They let the Broncos score 33 in the fourth quarter. That's unheard of. That was crazy. That was a crazy game. The Dallas Cowboys. Ooh, Ooh, defeat the Washington Commanders 44-22. That hurt. That hurt. You know what I mean?
I mean, yes, it did.
Yes. For real. Ooh.
Doubled their score, period.
Doubled them up. Dak Prescott and CD Lamb, man, they dominated in this game. A game that we both picked wrong, which I should have known better. Well, no, this next one. I picked the Cowboys to win that game. You picked the Commanders. This next one, the 49ers defeat the Falcons 20-10. The 49ers keep performing without a lot of their key players. I wonder, why can't other teams do that? I just don't understand. Why can't other teams still perform without some of their key guys? I just don't understand that. Backup quarterback, backup middle linebacker, backup receivers, backup defenders. I don't know. And they're still winning. Yep. They defeat the Atlanta Falcons, who were coming in hot, 20-10. Christian McCaffrey racked up 201 scrimmage yards. Woo. The Niners are rolling. The Green Bay Packers defeat the Arizona Cardinals 27-23 in a game a lot closer than we thought it would be. A lot closer than we thought it would be. The Cardinals almost pulled it out, though. I think we both picked Green Bay. Indianapolis Colts, you picked this one. The Indianapolis Colts beat the Los Angeles Chargers. Can I just say this right now on the Chargers? Can I pull a fraud alert? Can I pull a fraud alert on the Chargers? Now, I picked this team to win the division. I did. I picked this team to win the division. Can I pull a fraud alert on these Chargers real quick?
I think you can.
Seriously, right? Okay. The Colts beat the Chargers 38-24. That defense got exposed. I thought they would be better than that, but they're not. The New England Patriots beat the Tennessee Titans. I picked the Patriots to win this game. 31-13. Drake May looks good. Young quarterback looks good. Man, he's on a hot streak. The one you alluded to earlier. The Cleveland Browns defeat the Miami Dolphins.
About that.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what to say about that. I really don't. I don't know what to say about that. The Dolphins? Bro, can you tell me what's going on with the Dolphins? Can you? Can you tell me what's going on with the Dolphins?
It might be some, I'm not going to say officiating staff, but it might be just something at the helm, maybe with the quarterback.
You think it's the QB?
It could be the quarterback.
I think it's a little bit more. I think it's a little bit more than the QB, but I mean, I think that's part of it.
I mean, my guy had 100 yards.
He got benched.
Yeah, exactly.
He got benched.
So, I mean, I'm just saying, 3 interceptions. Yeah. 100 yards, 3 interceptions, gets benched. That's why I say, just outside looking in. I'm not saying it's it's quarterback's fault. It could definitely be some underlining things that are causing this.
Mm-hmm.
But just from outside looking in, Tua did not have a great game. He didn't even have a good game.
He did not. 31-6.
Yeah.
I don't know what to say about the Dolphins. I have no words for the Dolphins right now. I'm just going to move on. The Carolina Panthers beat the New York Jets 13-6. The Jets continue to struggle. I don't know where their first win is. We're going to have to look at
maybe next year.
We're going to have to look at their schedule.
Yeah.
I don't know. I hope they don't go 0-17. I hope they don't. I don't think they will. I think they'll get a couple wins, but they're really, really struggling right now. They really are. Man, the Bears got another win. Their fourth straight. They beat the Saints 26-14.
The Bears.
You took the Saints. You did not take the Bears. You switched it up.
Well, because look, same thing. 1-5 Saints going into the 3-2 Bears. It's like, I felt as if, they're due for a win. They can muscle together, muster up the strength, and take down the Bears. And it was just, they couldn't. Nope, couldn't get it done. Couldn't handle it.
They fell short.
Yeah.
They fell short.
More than short. That's 8 points. No, I'm sorry. That is 12 points. Oh, they fell short. Short.
Almost 2 touchdowns.
Yes. Two scores.
Speaking about falling short, in one of the blowouts I was alluding to this week, the Rams destroyed the Jacksonville Jaguars overseas 35-7. What happened to your Jags, Brody? I
don't know, man. Look, I pondered and I was hoping and I was just watching until I'm not going to say I couldn't watch anymore, but I just kept watching and I'm like, this is ridiculous. And I mean, I know you saw my message. Like,
I saw the message. Yeah.
That's all I had to say.
Rams,
like, that's it.
You saw my reply, right?
Yeah, LOL.
Yeah, LOL. That's why I picked the Rams.
It's like, they crumbled. Man. They crumbled really, really hard talking. They didn't even score till the fourth quarter. And it's like, it wasn't even at that point, the fourth quarter, you're down, quite a few scores. You score a touchdown. It's like, man, you tried. That's all I can say at that point. No, you showed up. There you go. You showed up to the game. And I'm just, I feel bad for those people over. And I don't feel bad. It's not always about the tough matchups. I mean, they got to witness an ass whooping. So, I mean, if they're pulling for the Rams, that's entertaining as crap, if you ask me. There you go.
Yeah, if you pull it for the Rams, of course.
Exactly.
But speaking of whoopings, the Chiefs beat the Raiders, blanked them 31-0. That's all I have to say about that.
All I have to say is Arrowhead.
We both took the Chiefs in that one.
That's
but
all
let's get to the Monday night, because I was waiting for a call that I never received. When the Lions played the Bucks, I was waiting for a call I never received. I took the Lions. Do we have to remind who you took? Because I was supposed to get a call. I never received that call.
I was going to call, but it was
Detroit Lions.
I was going to call
Detroit Lions. Yeah, you were supposed to call me. I think you thought the score was going to be reversed, and you were going to call to tell me how I was wrong and you were right.
Yes,
but it was reversed. So,
and I was watching it too.
You never called.
I was so upset about the game, and I was like, you know what? He's probably asleep. He saw that score, and he was like, you know what? I got nothing to worry about.
No, I wasn't asleep.
You probably went. I thought you was just going to be like, you know what? I talked to him tomorrow. He'll be all right. Because you was like, you ain't worried? No.
Nah. I watched the Lions defeat the Buccaneers 24-9. No, I was up because I wanted to stay up to watch the next one, the Seattle Seahawks, who you also told me was going to lose.
I know. I did take the Texans, didn't I? Oh, man.
I stayed up to watch the Seattle Seahawks beat the Texans 27-19.
Both of them.
Yeah, both of them. Both of them. So, with the scores in the books, man, let's get to these picks, bro.
It was just bad news.
Let's start. Look, you want the bad news or you want the good news? What you want first?
I'll take the bad news.
Bad news is my brother in Christ, My brother from the same mother and father. You got 4 wins. You picked 4 right.
Oh my gosh.
It was not a good week for you, Brody. You picked 4 right, 5 with your mulligan. If you want to count it, that's fine.
I mean, you got to. Let's count it.
Sure, 5. You picked 5 right. Right, with the mulligan.
Yeah.
But you fell just a little short because I came up with 10.
Just a little short, yeah.
A little short. I came up with 10. So with that, I got 5 wins. I'm up 5-1. Plenty of time to come back. You know, but right now I'm up 5-1. So,
ouch.
You know, I'm not going to pat myself on the back or nothing. I'm not going to do that. No, I'm not going to.
Just going to sip my little tea.
Yeah, I'm not going to do that. But I will talk about these Vikings, man. Let's get into that. They fell short. The Vikings fell to the Eagles again, 22-17. Man, Jalen Hurts was darn near perfect in everything that he did, man. Everything. It was just too much. It was too much for the Vikings to handle. But let me get your thoughts on the game, man. Tell me what you saw.
Well, I mean, to be honest, Carson Wentz did his thing. You know, don't get me wrong, 2 interceptions, still had 300 yards.
Whoa, did he though?
He still had 300 yards. I mean, the pass to execution ratio is kind of not where it's at. You're talking 26 to 42.
Get your bars off. I'm gonna go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah. He looked okay. It's just when it came to like opportunities of execution, it just wasn't there. They didn't capitalize. You know what I mean? Addison, Jefferson, you know, Nail only had a couple, but I mean, they were utilized. And, you know, Addison, you know, went off. I would say he had over 100 yards. Jefferson wasn't too far behind him. It's just when it comes to it, 6-point difference is 1 score. They just fell short, but the secondary gave up so much. They left so much to be desired. I mean, Eagles scored in every single quarter, and I'm talking touchdowns. They just touchdown after touchdowns, just the Vikings when they were falling short. Oh, you can't score a field goal. Okay, field goal, but you still got the Eagles putting up touchdowns. You can't win if the other team is scoring touchdowns and you're, you know, trying to make up with, you know, some field goals here. You know, especially if their scoring is consistent in all 4 quarters.
They scored once a quarter. The Eagles did all touchdowns. Right. I'm sorry. You done?
Yeah.
Okay. To your point, and you know what? I'll start there. The Eagles scored touchdowns in every quarter, like you said, 1 touchdown, 7 in every quarter. The Vikings scored 3, 10, and 6.
Mm-hmm.
That's piss poor.
Yeah.
They were 1 and 6 as far as touchdowns in the red zone. 1 and 6. There's no way you should get 6 trips to the red zone and 1 touchdown. But that's what did them in. If they convert one of those, they win the game.
Yep.
They convert 1, they probably win that game. Right?
Yep.
Well, I mean, statistically, if they converted 1, that they lost by 6, that's only a 4-point swing, so they were still lost. But in hindsight, I felt like if they converted one of those to a touchdown, the game would still be different, right?
Yes.
But last week when we talked about this game, and it was tight throughout, right? Like there was even times in this game where I felt, okay, the Vikings got this, right? Like they're moving the ball. They're moving the ball. They were moving the ball the entire game on this defense. This defense was there to be had. They just fell short in the red zone, and it was just super frustrating. I gave my keys. When I gave keys to the game last week, right? What did I say? I said dominate time of possession with the run game. They did that. They did win time of possession, right?
Right.
They took care of that. 34 minutes to the Eagles, 25 minutes. So they won time of possession. Great. So you did that right. Pressure hurts without overcommitting. They didn't really get a lot of pressure on him. And then when he did get pressure, they let him escape the pocket. And a lot of those big throws that he made down the field, and again, I'm sorry, yeah, that defense was getting cooked. They were getting cooked. It was ridiculous how many big plays they were giving up. But that's really all Philly had. They shut down Saquon. So Philly didn't really have a run game, Matt, and it was super frustrating just to watch them give up big play after big play, right? So they didn't do that. Win the turnover battle. They did not do that. Wentz had 2 horrible interceptions. Should have never happened. He also missed a wide open CJ Ham in the flat and just tossed the ball forward and got an intentional grounding. What are you doing? You can't do that. You can't just throw the ball forward. That's intentional grounding. You're not Matthew Stafford. They let Matthew Stafford do that last year in the playoff game against the Vikings, where he was literally getting tackled and he just tossed the ball forward like this, and they called it incomplete. Unfortunately, you're not gonna get that call, my guy. You're not. It's super frustrating because they let Matthew Stafford do it in the playoff game last year, and they didn't call it a fumble. They didn't call it ground. They didn't even call it grounding. They called it incomplete. Super frustrating. But it's the most Viking thing. That's the most Viking thing in the world, is that what gets called on you doesn't get called everywhere else. But I digress. Whatever. We also got a touchdown call back on a BS holding call. If you look at it, he knocked the guy's hands down and he lost balance and he fell. That is not holding. It's not holding. But again, that's just one play. But let me get back to my keys, right? So they lost the turnover battle. So they lost that. So they did one thing. They got 2 things wrong.
Right.
Feed Jordan Addison early. I said, feed Jordan Addison early. Yep, they tried to do that. Carson Wentz missed him on a touchdown. That first pass to Addison down the field, Addison had his man beat. He was wide open. That was a touchdown. What does Carson Wentz do? Man, he throws the ball close to the sidelines where Addison had to literally turn around, adjust his body, and make a sideline catch when he was wide open. He was wide open. He missed Addison twice on touchdowns. Justin Jefferson, contested ball. He dropped it. I feel like he should have caught it. I know you can't catch everything, but it's super frustrating. You got to pull that in. JJ, you got to pull that in. That was on the same drive where they called the holding when they took a Naylor touchdown off the board. That was super frustrating, right? So, yeah, they kind of fed Addison early but missed him on touchdowns. What was my 5th key, Brody? Red zone efficiency, and they failed. They got a freaking F. They failed. 1 in 6. 1 in 6. You can't do that. And I said, you can't do that. You can't come away with field goals. It won't cut it against a team like Philly. And that's exactly what happened, and that's exactly why they lost. Again, I am 98% of the time, 98% of the time, whether you like it or not. And I was right.
Like it or not.
I was right.
No, I mean, yeah. I mean, if you look at it, what? 3 points in the first quarter, 3 points in the second, 10 points in the third, okay, and then 6 points in the fourth. You fall short. You're scoring field goals when the other team scored touchdowns. It's like, come on now. That is not. You're behind. They were literally behind all game. All game behind.
They were behind the whole game, but it never felt like they were out of the game.
They know exactly
and
right.
That's how it felt. You know what I mean? It really did. It never felt like they were out of the game because Philly, the defense held up enough for them to win the game. If they just convert 1 or 2 of those field goals, 1 for 6, just convert 1 or 2 of those other drives in the red zone to a touchdown and you win the game. right? I felt like they may have even won by 2 scores if you do that. But no, they let Jalen Hurts, man, throw for 326 on you. Perfect passer rate, man. He was 19 for 23. Yeah. Man, that's too easy. I mean, how are the Vikings? The Vikings were like one of the best. They were the number 2 ranked pass defense in the NFL, and this is what you gave up. You gave up this to a team that was struggling to throw the ball. Man, those receivers were fighting. They were yelling. They were fussing at each other. And man, but this is what happens. This is what happens when teams play the Vikings. You can have all kinds of crap going on. You play the Vikings, you'll get right. But in a couple of weeks, it's going to be real interesting to see because there's another team that wears purple that's the same way. If you that will be just a game for the Dolphins to win. But we'll get to that in a couple of weeks. Yeah, the Dolphins are a mess, but I guarantee they'll play a team and they'll get right. You watch. You know what I mean? But again, man, like I said, bro, Carson Wentz played. He played good enough to win, man, but he had costly turnovers. That pick 6 he threw, you can't throw that ball.
Right.
That was a big turning point. That was one of the touchdowns. That pick 6, that was one of the touchdowns. You take that off the board, man. You take that off the board, who knows what happens? You take that off the board, you win.
Yeah. No, that's right. Yeah.
You can't do that. You can't, man. You can't do that. And the play calling with KOC kind of gets me too, because you got 2nd and 1 on one of those red zone trips. You got 2nd and 1. You throw the ball 3 straight times. What are you doing? What are you doing?
Sound like some bonehead buffoonery, really, going one-dimensional. You make yourself real predictable.
You got Jordan Mason. Jordan Mason can get you a yard, man. You got to be able to get a yard. You got to be able to get a yard. But Wentz struggled, man. He really did. He struggled, especially in critical moments. He really struggled. At times, he looked like the young player who hadn't played before. He looked like the young player who hadn't played before. That's who he looked like. That bonehead play where you just throw the ball. CJ Ham's wide open in the flat. Throw the ball. You just flick it forward and get an intentional grounding call. That's a rookie mistake, my man. You can't do that. You can't do that. They had almost 400 yards of total offense, man. 67 plays.
Right.
You got to win that game. You have to win that game.
You know what I mean?
But turnovers, costly turnovers.
That's true. No, yeah. I mean, on paper, they look like, oh, okay, maybe they should have won that game. But if they should have. When you're right, like you said, convert one of those field goals to a touchdown, you win the game. Just one of your scores.
Look, on paper, they should have won the game. Unfortunately, you don't play football on paper.
That's right.
You don't play football on paper.
Everybody can't be X's and O's.
Unfortunately, they came up short. Came up short, so got a quick turnaround. We got a quick turnaround because we got a Thursday game. It's the first Thursday game of the Vikings or the Ravens this year. It's really funny. It's weird that way because the Vikings play on Thursday this week against the LA Chargers, and then the Ravens next week, not this week coming up, but next week they got the Dolphins on the road. So
go Dolphins.
We're gonna highlight those games. But Brody, I mean, to put a bow on this loss, just give me the key. Give me your one takeaway from this game, and why the Vikings lost.
Oh man, it's pretty apparent, man. It might be the same on both sides, man. It's execution. You go downfield, you're in the red zone, and dealing with my team, we already know where this is going. You get in the red zone, you got to score. And I'm not talking about a field goal, especially when the opposing team is scoring touchdowns. Man, you got to score. And they've had too many trips to the red zone and come away with field goals. It's not like they were constantly driving and getting stops. Now, if they were constantly driving and getting stops, they could have won the game on what they had. Sure. Literally, one score. If you stop the Eagles one time, out of the 4 times they scored, you win the game. But if you can't, you got to execute. And that's at the red zone. You get to the red zone, execute, score, have faith in your guys. You go one-dimensional and start throwing the ball when all you need is a small margin. If it's not working, you got to change it up. Don't become one-dimensional. They smell it so quick in the red zone. Something is just different when you're in the red zone. Everybody's senses is heightened. Everybody's trying their hardest. It gets tough. Those last 10 yards in that red zone, or is it 20? Is it 20 yards in the red zone?
20 and in.
Yeah. The last 20 yards seems just to be the hardest yards to get. And I understand that, but at the same time, it's got to be the same on both sides. You know what I mean? You got to want it. 6 times you got some field goals. You only scored 1 touchdown all game. Like, come on. That's a perfect example that field goals half the time or majority of the time will not get it done.
The hardest thing about executing offensively, and I'm going to point to the same thing because that's really what did I'll add something to that. Red zone efficiency is really what cost them the game, but 2 costly turnovers. One of them was a pick 6. That turned the tide of the game. You take away the pick 6, they win the game. It's that simple. You got to score touchdowns in the red zone. I made that one of my keys to them winning the game, and they did not do it, and that's why they lost. On top of that, I understand why it's hard to score in the red zone because the field is so much more restricted. It's easier for the defense because all they really have to do now, once you get in the red zone, is less field for them to have to cover so they can tighten up. And that's why a lot of teams fall short in the red zone because defenses are able to tighten up. You basically have 30 yards. You just have 30 yards. You don't have to worry about anything past 30 yards. So it's easier for you to play defense in the red zone. And as you get closer, things get more constricted. It's a lot easier. Less field to cover. But you still have to execute if you want to win games. They didn't, and they lost. That was pretty much what happened. But I digress, Brody. Look, to put a bow on this, the Vikings came up short in a game that I think they should have won, and I think they could have won. They didn't play as well as the Eagles, but again, I think they played more consistent than the Eagles did. They just gave up too many big plays. That's another thing. They gave up way too many big plays. That's another big reason why they lost. So, with that being said, man, that's pretty much it for us. We're going to have our show tomorrow where we're going to preview the upcoming Thursday night game between the Vikings and the Chargers. And then we're also going to talk about the Ravens coming off their bye against the Bears this Sunday. But before we get out of here, Brody, since the Ravens are coming off their bye, let's give just a quick preview of that game. I know we're gonna preview it more closely tomorrow, and then we're gonna go over our picks. We're gonna pick week 8, but let's just just early thoughts on the games against the Bears for the Ravens. Give me some early thoughts on that game.
Lamar Jackson is still out. So I think it'll just be more of the same, actually. I try.
1 in 6 loading, right? Yeah.
That's what I feel like. That's what we're staring at. And that news came in either yesterday or this morning that Lamar Jackson will still be out for the Bears game.
Is it official? I did hear John talking his nonsense. This was yesterday. I did see John talking his nonsense in his press conference yesterday, talking about they're still wonder if they're going to get guys back, but they're not sure. Is he I haven't seen anything yet. Is Lamar officially out? You're going to go ahead, finish your point. Let me fact check that.
Okay. Well, to my point, there's still, I don't know how well they might have, gone over the plays with whom they're going to go with. If it's going to be, it could be Cooper Rush. They could be trying out Tyler Huntley. The leader is still missing. Overall, leader is still missing. Don't know for sure if any guys have, stepped up to the plate saying, "Hey, you guys look like you might need someone to, save you." Because Lamar's not there. He's still not there. What we've seen over the past 4 weeks. Yeah. No, I don't think anything's really...
No official news that he's out, but I did see he did not practice yesterday. So
that's if he does play.
He still didn't practice. Yeah, the fact that he still didn't practice yesterday, I don't see any updates for today. So I'm gonna have to check on that. We'll have a more better update for you guys tomorrow on our Wednesday show, where we're gonna preview this game and the Vikings game, and we're gonna preview a few of the week 8 games as we do our picks. But if he does not play, that's going to be another L. That's going to be another L for the Ravens. Unfortunately, this team does not know how to play without its starters, and that's a real problem. Did you also see that story that came out? And we'll talk more about this tomorrow. I believe it came out in the Sun, talking about it. It spoke to a few people internally with the Ravens, and they had a few things to say anonymously about the team and what they feel like is going wrong, and how the offense isn't progressing like they should, which I don't understand, because the offense is the only reason why they even have one win. So, that's really puzzling to me, because that defense has been buns the whole year.
Right.
We got no shade. We got no smoke for Zachary Orr. Nothing. Nothing.
They don't.
So no. Something's going wrong. There's a lot of conflicting reports coming out, and it's so sad, because people talk about this franchise like they're a model franchise, and things are not looking good. And for some reason, their loyalty to John Harbaugh is going to be their downfall.
I feel like it. I feel like
organization's loyalty to this dude is going to be their downfall. They're going to lose so much support. You're doing it wrong. That's all I'm going to say. You're doing it wrong. A coach should never be the face of a franchise. Ever. You saw what happened to arguably what people call the greatest coach ever when he lost his starting quarterback. You saw what happened. Right now, he's coaching North Carolina, and it's going horribly wrong. So that's all I'm going to say. I'm not even going to say his name. Everybody should know who that is. Anyway, but, bro, you put a bow on this. Vikings come up short, unfortunately, but they have a quick turnaround so they can bounce back this week. Unfortunately, we still haven't gotten a week where the Ravens and the Vikings get a win. Hopefully they can do that before they play each other November 9th, because that's definitely when it's not going to happen. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. But with that being said, man, we'd like to thank every single person who watches the videos. If you can, please like and subscribe to videos, leave a comment. It really helps out the channel. Again, we do this for fun. But again, we appreciate y'all and all that y'all do. Peace. Love. God bless.
God bless. See you guys tomorrow. Yay. Wednesday. Enjoy.